Hello.
Oh, hi. Oh my
Hi, how you
gosh.
doing? You're like, oh my God, I look awful. That's okay. You're
Yeah.
fine. You're fine. Don't worry. I was gonna wear my robe because I was chilly, but I was like, nah, I don't want to be, sloppy because we don't like sloppy psychics. So,
Yes. So this is like the first time I'm here, so I really did not think I
oh,
was
how
gonna get
funny.
to.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that happens a lot. Sometimes people when they get called, oh, she froze. See what happens when you show that's what happens. There you are. I was like, oh no, I hope it didn't disconnect. Yeah, a lot of people sometimes when they're like it's their first time, they'll get picked, and it's always like I always tell Spirit, like just guide me to the person you want me to talk to. Give me that pull, and then I'll go to them. So, what did you want to ask me?
Um, well, that's awesome. But um somebody passed away 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was very special. He's actually the father of my daughter. So
Mm-hmm.
the way he died, it was a very
Don't tell me too
traumatic
much. Don't tell me
and
too much. Don't tell me too much
oh,
because I let him tell me. Okay, so this would be your ex, right?
yes.
Got it. Okay. So first of all, he keeps acknowledging the number two. Do you know if February or the second of a month is connected?
Yeah.
Okay. He also keeps it talking. He also keeps acknowledging the four. Are there four siblings for him, or is he one of four?
Yes.
Because he's wanting to acknowledge his siblings, so he's referencing them. He also wants to let you know that there's a little. Thank you. I don't know if it's a cat or dog. I'm gonna go with dog. There's a little dog that's also there in spirit that passed away. So did you know there's a small dog that passed?
Um
It would sound like a Chi Chi or Cha Cha.
I think so. From when he was smaller,
I don't know if it's
probably.
his dog or your dog, but he's just wanting to acknowledge his dog. So,
Okay, if it's ours, then yes,
okay.
yes.
So he's acknowledging that dog, that being there. He
Chico,
also, what?
chica, chica, chica,
Chica, there it
chica.
is. Okay, got it. Chica, thank you. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He's showing me a bracelet. Did you get a bracelet after his passing?
I did it, but my daughters did.
Okay, because he's acknowledging the bracelets that were given or the bracelets that were connected to him after his passing, because he's acknowledging that as well. He also talks about the balloon floating or popping. Did something weird happen with the balloon where it popped or it was floating in a weird way?
Um, we I took my daughters to counseling, and towards the end or the final or the ending of the counseling, we did a balloon
Release?
release.
Oh,
Hmm.
got it. Okay, so he's just acknowledging that. Um, did one of them pop before y'all were able to get it to fly or something? He's making fun of it popping and scaring y'all.
I remember vaguely, but it was 7 years ago.
That's
It's
okay.
almost.
That's okay. He's just referencing that, acknowledging that. He also keeps thank you. Did he have a little bit of facial hair or like a mustache?
Yes, we used to joke that because I
Okay.
used to tell him that I would have more facial hair than him.
Oh my God, girl. Okay. So he's just acknowledging the facial hair, the mustache, and he's making reference to that. He says, thank you. So the first thing he wants to say is he loves you and he appreciates everything that you've done for the girls since his passing. He also wants to apologize because he feels he could have done better. And so he's bringing that up and he feels like he could have done more before his passing. He also says that his passing the way he makes me feel is this was a really bad series of things happening to cause his passing, but he isn't making me feel like this was like murder or like someone intended to take his life. It was just all these things happening that brought about his passing. He is also making me feel, thank you. I feel like I'm bleeding out a little bit. Do you know if there was issues in the bleed out or he bled out a little bit?
Yes.
Okay,
Um,
got it. He's also, thank you. Was what he's showing me he's showing me he's showing me something and I'm trying to figure out why he's showing this to me. So I have a friend named Chelsea. She was on a bicycle and she was hit by a vehicle and they left her there to die. And there was just too much damage. And one of the issues or one of the things that was damaged was her spleen. But I remember like all the stuff that they were talking about, how there was so many things that were wrong or that were damaged. Do you know if he had also issues with his spleen or something happened with the bleed out?
um, the from my understanding was he was not going to be recognized, so it had to be a closed casket.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't with him at that moment. I had already moved on. I'm married at this point, so
He's like,
I didn't ask too many questions
mm-hmm.
because I didn't want people to be like, "Oh, she's married. Why is she crying for him?" You know. But
Because
people
this is
don't
so, I
understand.
mean, this is the father of your children. Like, what the hell is wrong with them? To think that you
Yes.
shouldn't have any feelings for your ex. Like, get a grip, people. Like, come on, y'all had children together. Yeah, no. First of all, it's funny because he just did this, and when he did this, he is like smiling and a twinkle in his tooth. So he's kind of in love with himself. So he's like smiling and like coming across like he knows he looks good and he doesn't matter. He is acknowledging that he keeps showing me a brush or a comb. Do you know there's a funny joke about a brush or a comb because he keeps showing this to me as well?
Not a brush or a comb. It's a can of WD-40. If it's about throwing it to him, I got mad at him one time. A long story, and I threw a can of WD-40, and he was like 50 feet away from me,
Uh-huh.
and he moved, and when he moved, it hit him right in the forehead.
Okay.
So
No, that's not. Well, I mean that. Well, that's funny, but I don't think that's what he's talking about. He's talking about like a brush or a comb, and something about a joke about like combing my hair over or like combing it in a certain way or trying to something about changing my style and it not working. And it was just there's something about this comb or brush thing that's funny. It was with the girls recently. He's
okay.
talking about the girls recently. This just happened?
Okay, so it must be my youngest one because when my youngest one, she had no hair until she was like maybe 5 or 6 years old. And there
Mm-hmm.
was absolutely no way we can kind of comb her hair. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's what he's referring to.
Okay, so if she's combing her hair now, then he's just acknowledging her being able to comb her hair now because he's acknowledging that as well. Is there a Danielle or De La Rosa or I almost want to go to De La Rosa. Is there some sort of De La Rosa or De La Ri, De La Ro, De La Ri? It sounds like this. So it feels like a long D name. It sounds like a last name.
Not that I can think of.
It's I mean the close if it's that first name it'd be like Diego or something. But it's like De La Rosa, De La Ri, there's something there because he's making reference to that. He also talks about do you know there's 7 tattoos connected to him?
Probably yes.
Okay,
Hmm.
because I'm like he was gonna show me 2, and then he showed me 7, and I was like, whoa, that's a lot. Someone may also have some on their like fingers or on their like this because he's showing me this as well. He also says that it happened very fast and he didn't feel it. So he's
Okay.
acknowledging that it was really fast and that he didn't feel it and that he's okay now. He also says that he owes you a lot, and he's also actually shaking the hand of your husband. So he's acknowledging that and letting you know that he wants to make sure that you're treated well and to make sure that that's the case. But he's letting you know that he appreciates what you've done with the kids. There's also a book that might be connected to him, or you putting him inside a book or talking about a character in a book and it being that. But there's a reference there as well because he's acknowledging that. He's okay, sweetheart. He also did show up in your dream to tell you these things. You just didn't remember parts of it.
Okay. Can I ask him I just want him to know that I forgive him. And I mean, I've always carried that
He
I
says you told me
didn't.
that. He says you already told me you forgave me. So did you tell him already that you forgave him?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
did it. You were in a vehicle. You had just finished shopping, or you had come out of a store or something like that, and you were sitting in your car. You were getting ready to go somewhere because that's what he's showing me. So he says you were talking to him, and this was a situation like this.
Okay.
Okay,
Awesome.
he's okay, sweetheart, and
Thank you.
he's. You're welcome. You're welcome, darling. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.